Okay. So,
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. All glories to our Guru Maharaj. I welcome all of you to His Holiness Chandramauli Swami Maharaj's daily call. Today, we are very fortunate to have Her Grace Radha Vinodini Mataji to give class to us on the topic of the power of humility. It's a very important topic. The verse will be Chaitanya Charitamrita Adi Leela 17.31. Hare Krishna Mataji, then with pranam goes to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much, Mataji, for giving your time and association to us this morning or this afternoon for you. Thank you so much. You have selected such a nice topic for all of us. You can please take over, Mataji. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all glories to Guru Maharaj. So today's verse is from Chaitanya Charitamrita, this very well-known verse, and actually this is in Chaitanya Charitamrita 2 times, also in Antya Leela, part of Shikshastakam. So let's dive into it. So Trinadapi sunijena taroriva sahishnuna amanina manadena kirtaniya sadahari. Srila Prabhupada's translation of the verse. One who thinks himself lower than the grass, who is more tolerant than a tree, and who does not expect personal honor, yet is always prepared to give all respect to others, can very easily always chant the holy name of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada's purport, it's not long. The grass is specifically mentioned in this verse because everyone tramples upon it, yet the grass never protests. The example indicates that a spiritual master or leader should not be proud of his position, being always humbler than an ordinary common man. He should go on preaching the cult of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu by chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Chandramauli Swami Niti Namine. So this verse is a favorite one, I hope for all of you. And first, I would like to start with a story which I've heard lately on YouTube, not a bona fide scripture, but a very nice story illustrating this topic. So on one occasion, the former Undersecretary of Defense traveled to a conference giving speech. And when he went onto the stage with a cup of coffee in his hand, and he just started to smile and narrated one story which was originally not part of his speech. So he said that, last year I came to this same conference, and at that time I was the Undersecretary of Defense, and so I traveled on a business class on airplane. And someone was waiting for me at the airport. They picked me up and drove me to the hotel. They already checked me in, so I just had to go to my room. The next day, someone came for me, picked me up, and took me to this conference. They brought me through the back door. Didn't have to wait anywhere, and even gave me a cup of coffee in a ceramic, very nice, beautiful ceramic cup. And this year, I'm no longer this Undersecretary of Defense. So I traveled by coach on my own, and no one waited for me. So I just took a taxi and traveled to the hotel, and I checked in by myself. And the next day, I took again another taxi, and came here for this conference. And so I came in through the front door. I had to find my way to this green room. And I asked someone, where could I get a cup of coffee? And they just showed me, oh, there is that coffee machine in the corner. So I took a styrofoam cup and got my coffee. And I started to think about this. And the lesson is actually that this ceramic cup is not meant for me. The ceramic cup is not meant for anybody. The ceramic cup is meant for the position which I had at that time. And all of us who are here or everywhere in the world, we deserve a styrofoam cup. And the other cup is just meant for the position. So I thought that this is a very nice story illustrating how we should think of anything, any respect or any other stuff we get. Because, yeah, this story is for someone who had a position in politics and stuff. But, you know, there is another type of position whenever someone has beauty, someone has a different type of talents, someone is smart, someone has power, any position. So it can cause that we think that we deserve something, and we can be proud of these things. It can be, how to say, big things or just small, subtle things, but it's very easy to fall prey to pride. And you know, whenever we get this position, we can accept all those things we get. It's just we can even enjoy it because there is no harm in it. You know, we shouldn't deny that something is enjoyable, but we should never be attached to it, and never can think that we deserve these things. So we shouldn't expect. So we can accept, but we shouldn't expect. Sorry, similar words, but means very different things. And so also about accepting these things, I just remembered two different things of Srila Prabhupada's behavior in this regard. So there is even a photo on internet about him when in the early days, you know, the devotees didn't know how to properly behave with a spiritual master, and there was only one bathroom. So the devotees were waiting in line, and Srila Prabhupada is the fifth or sixth person in the line, and patiently waiting for him to reach the bathroom. So this exemplifies with many other occasions how humble he was. But also at the same time, I read a story. I think it was from Kurma Prabhu's memories, that on one occasion Srila Prabhupada gave a beautiful class. And after the class, someone went to him and started to praise how amazing this class was. And many times we do it that, yeah, oh, you're just too kind, or oh, I don't deserve it. But Srila Prabhupada was really in a really humble mood. So he just put his hands together in respectful pranams, and slightly lowered his head and said, thank you. Because, you know, what would be if everybody tries to show respect and no one accepts it. So he accepted it, but he wasn't attached to it. That was the key. And in his mind, he knew that all his qualifications come from his guru, from Krishna. So he never held back for himself any of that respect which he got. And also we should remember one thing, that most of the time the respect we get is connected to our body. So if we start that kind of meditation, it really reinforces this bodily concept. But at the same time, yeah, it also can be a problem that when we do devotional service, it generally purifies us. But unfortunately, this is something which even pride can come from devotional service if we don't do it in a proper mood. So that's why pride is very dangerous, because many anarthas and bad qualities come from sinful activities. We know even pious activities, but we know that all of those are on the material platform. But the problem is that even when we do transcendental service, devotional service, if we don't do that properly, that can also cause anarthas and can cause us to be proud. So that was the not so short introduction. And my original plan was to speak about humility in this Sambandha Abhideya Prayojana sense. So to have a general overview about all kind of aspects. But, I started to do my research, and it got deeper and deeper and deeper. And I thought that, okay, I just try to speak one part of it and speak properly about that part. So Abhideya, the process, will be a bit neglected today. But I would like to speak about Sambandha, which in this sense means speak about the different definitions we got about humility, and also how we can estimate our own level of humility. So where we are now. And also the Prayojana aspect, that what are the symptoms when someone achieves humility, and what are the benefits? Because many times, especially in this modern materialistic way of thinking, we tend to think that humility is a weakness. And that humility is difficult, and we have to give up something. And actually, just the opposite is the truth, that humility frees us and empowers us. And I would like to speak about that. So let's start. There will be a few definitions now. The first one is from Bhagavad Gita. Yeah. There is this famous verse about what Krishna considers knowledge. And I remember the first time when I read this verse, I was really, really amazed that, my concept of knowledge was that, we know a lot of stuff, information and data. And this doesn't really seem to connect to that. And especially very interesting, the first one, the first one is humility, and the second, pridelessness. So it's really important in the sense that, we cannot get knowledge if we don't have these qualities, humility and pridelessness, because someone who thinks that he or she knows how to learn anything. I just try to search for, so this part I wanted to read, because this gives the definition of humility. So humility means that one should not be anxious to have the satisfaction of being honored by others. So this is Srila Prabhupada's definition, one of his definitions. The material conception of life makes us very eager to receive honor from others, but from the point of view of a man in perfect knowledge who knows that he is not this body, anything, honor or dishonor pertaining to this body is useless. One should not be hankering after this material deception. People are very anxious to be famous for their religion, and consequently, sometimes it is found that without understanding the principles of religion, one enters into some group which is not actually following religious principles, and then wants to advertise himself as a religious mentor. As for actual advancement in spiritual science, one should have a test to see how far he is progressing. He can judge by these items. So this is a very, very nice definition. The main point here, so one should not be anxious to have satisfaction or being honored by others. So we can also speak about this here, why this is empowering. Because many times we experience that others' reactions determine what is our state of mind, what is our fate actually, what are our actions, and this really bonds us. That's why that's one of the reasons why association is so important, because if we are part of a group and usually we are part of materialistic people's groups because we cannot avoid it. So if this determines our value system, what a value system others have, and we are dependent on their opinion, then we will have a problem. And actually, if others' reactions don't determine our reactions, our state of minds, that's real freedom, So that really helps us to go in a proper way and not be frustrated. So even in a material sense, it's very beneficial. And as I mentioned that. Here it's also, there is this example that many occasions, even when someone enters into a religious group and wants to advertise himself as a religious mentor. So it's an example that even devotional service, or how to say service, even religious activities can cause that someone becomes proud. And that's why we have to be very cautious, always checking our own mentality. Okay, so let's see this second definition. So this actually, I would say that our verse, which we just read, it also a type of definition, because whenever we speak about humility, we come back to this verse. And it's very nice that we can see the two sides of respect here. So how I should give respect and how I should expect, or in this case, not expect respect. So this is actually a definition that I do not expect personal honor, and which was already said in the previous definition. But here it also says that I should give all respect to others. And in a sense, we can say that the second part, which is about tolerance, it's also, how to say, a symptom of humility, because without a humble state of mind, it's not really possible to tolerate anything. Whenever I think that I deserve something, then I won't be able to tolerate anything. because I just expect that I should get this thing. And if I don't get it, then I become frustrated. So this is also sort of a definition. And a bit of a different approach. So there was one from Hari Vilas Das's memories with Srila Prabhupada. He remembered that on one occasion he asked Srila Prabhupada about what humility is actually. And Srila Prabhupada said, I will just switch to this one. So here, humility means that you are convinced beyond any doubt that there is nothing in this world, absolutely nothing in this world, not your money, not your family, not your fame, not your gun, not your education, nothing that will save you except the mercy of Krishna. When you are convinced like this, then you are humble. So this is another definition for humility, which is about that actually we don't have any other shelter than Krishna. So it's connected to see everything through the eyes of the scriptures, through the eyes of real knowledge, that we see our own position, that we are very small particles of, we are very small spirit souls, and we cannot protect ourselves by our own power, whatever we have. So this is another definition from Srila Prabhupada. There is another definition which is similar to this, but a little bit different, which is also refer to our own power, but in a sense that I don't have qualification on my own to do anything. So if I want to do anything, if I want to achieve anything, then I need Krishna's mercy. So Srila Prabhupada also said this, that with you, Krishna, I can do anything. Without you, I cannot do anything. So it's similar to the previous one, which was about shelter, and this one about achieving something, but a slightly different point of view. And Romapad Swami said that real humility is understanding that one is but an instrument or ordered servant of the Supreme Lord. I do not have any good qualities whatsoever on my own strength. I cannot accomplish anything independently, and I am of no special significance in the vastness of creation. My only qualification is the order of my spiritual master and Krishna. By their potency, I may be empowered to do anything as they wish. Ironically, when the meaning of humility is properly understood, one could be acting humbly just to attract others' attention, to appreciate how so-called humble one is. In the mood of real humility, one can act very boldly and confidently on one's personal behalf. Vaishnava is very meek and tolerant, but when Krishna's service demands, a humble Vaishnava will do the needful in a complete mood of service. In mundane humility, the focus is on one's own inadequacies rather than upon Krishna's mercy. I am in the center, not Krishna. That is the crucial distinction. So it very nicely describes the difference, that where is the focus.
Mataji, sorry to interrupt. You are not sharing your screen. You stopped sharing.
Yeah, I just read this, but I will share.
Yeah. So, if you know that, that's fine. But I thought by mistake you did it. I just
okay. No. This one I just originally I just wanted to summarize it, but somehow started to read now.
That's okay, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So this is the distinction that the focus is on Krishna and not myself. And when we have this state of mind, then we know that anything we can do, anything we have is coming from Krishna. Then we can be grateful to the giver, to Krishna, and not proud by receiving it. And I think it's a very nice statement. It was one of the daily drops from Guru Maharaj, that one who receives mercy is grateful to the giver, not proud about receiving it. So it's also nice. And I just thought of narrating one story about one of my favorite stories about humility. It's about Hanumanji. When he traveled to Lanka to find Sita Devi, and actually he did. He found her, and originally when he arrived, he was very, very small, and just he was hiding in the between the leaves of the tree because he didn't want to frighten Sita Devi, and just started to narrate the Ramayana, actually. And Sita Devi heard this narration, and she became very captivated and was really curious about who's chanting this beautiful story. And at that point, Lord Hanuman appeared in front of her, and he became really big, and told everything, why he came, and he's sent by Lord Ramachandra. And at one point of the discussion, Sita Devi asked him, originally when you came, you were very small, I couldn't even see you. And now you are so big. So what is your original form? So are you small, or are you big, or what? And Hanuman's answer was really amazing, because he said that, my dear mother, originally I'm really, really small, but by the grace of Lord Ramachandra, for him, I can become great. I can become big. So this is real humility, when we see that we are small, but for Krishna, we can be big, we can do great things in order to please him. So I very much like this story. It's very deep. And one story about Srila Prabhupada, what he said about this, when devotees told him that, oh, Srila Prabhupada, you are on the Paramahamsa stage, and Srila Prabhupada started to say that how fallen he is and lower than the devotees there. And the devotees insisted that you are so beautiful, you are a Paramahamsa. And at that point, Srila Prabhupada said that, no, I am lower than you. I am the lowest of all the creatures. I'm simply trying to execute the order of my spiritual master. That's all. That should be the business of everyone. Try best. Try your best to execute the higher order. That is the safest way of progressing. One may be in the lowest stage, but if he tries to execute the duty entrusted upon him, he is perfect. He may be in the lowest stage, but because he is trying to execute the duty entrusted to him, then he is perfect. So this is the main point. He may be in the lowest stage, but because he's trying to execute the duty entrusted to him, then he is perfect. So that was our next point. Okay, I will do the screen sharing again. Oh, yeah, my problem is that I don't see my own notes when this is shown. Yeah, maybe like this. Yeah, so we covered the first four. And the fifth one is again from Romapad Swami. he said that Vaishnava humility is a completely spiritual quality, not a material one. It comes from understanding one's real self in relation with God. So that also refers back to our first point, this verse from Bhagavad Gita, that how humility is connected with knowledge. Because if we have knowledge, then naturally we will become humble because we understand our situation, our position. And if we understand our position connected to Krishna, then we just cannot be proud because obviously we don't have anything to be proud about. And yeah, so that's the next point. And it's very interesting how knowledge and humility is connected, because if we are not humble, then we are not able to get knowledge. And if we have knowledge, then we naturally become humble. So it's like a loop. And our next point, this is from Nectar of Devotion, and there is a definition also that humility is a sense of weakness caused by distress, fear, or offensiveness is called humility. In such a humble condition, one becomes talkative, small in heart, dirty in mind, full of anxiety, and inactive. So there were also mentioned these examples for each of the categories. And also this fourth point was added later, the shyness. Shyness can also cause humility. And the last one is, sometimes it's quoted from different spiritual masters, but they quoted it from some other source. Actually, the original source, as I found, it's unknown. Sometimes they say it's from C.S. Lewis, and sometimes that even not from him. That, but because we get this also from the spiritual masters, I thought that it's nice to add this one. That true humility is not thinking less of yourself; it's thinking of yourself less. So these are the points, the different points, how to approach humility. You know, it's the same thing. It's just like we have a house and just checking it out from the different sides of the house. Obviously, we see different aspects of the house, but it's the same. And when we discuss humility, then obviously the next point is, okay, let's check out how humble I am. So I found this list. The fifth one was just I added this one, but these were from a devotee source. So it's nice to ask ourselves these points from time to time, because this, if we honestly answer them, it shows us our level of humility. So how we react when we are celebrated, accept our glorification on our own, or do we include all the others who added to the success? Second point, how we react to criticism. Criticism criticism of our ideas, work, decisions, talents, products, etc. Can we accept it? Can we learn from it? Or we just look for excuses or state that we were right, we did everything right? Third point, how we react to challenge. Do we underestimate our rivals? Okay. So do we underestimate our rivals? Do we suppress them or respect them? Do we make friendships with them? Do we learn from them? So, you know, when we see our rivals, we can always learn something. It's not that I want to achieve something, I feel that I'm better. So yes, it's possible to make friendships and learn from them. And it's really nice. It's a nice mood. So the fourth point, how do we connect to our seniors and authorities? How do we reciprocate with our juniors and underlings? Are we compassionate? Do we help them making progress? And yeah, till now we spoke about seniors and juniors, but it's also important how we connect to our peers in a challenging or a friendly, supporting mood. You know, there is this verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, I think it's in 5th canto, which speaks about how we should deal with juniors, peers, and seniors. And the conclusion was that if we properly approach all of these people in all of these categories, that will then it can make suffering go away. So it's very powerful that humility actually, if we properly behave with others in a humble mood, because in that verse, Srila Prabhupada in the purport mentions how we actually tend to react and exchange with these people, and whenever we don't behave properly, the cause is that we are not humble. So if we can have these relationships in a humble state of mind, then it has really great power. So this is what I thought of speaking about the Sambandha aspect, and about the Prayojan aspect, why it's beneficial to practice humility and achieve humility. What is the goal? I would like to speak about this one. Ooh, time has gone. Sorry, I think I will make it shorter because I cannot finish all of it. But yeah, I would like to go a bit into detail why it's not a weakness. So what we can gain, what is the benefit? And there was one definition that maybe you remember, that I cannot do anything on my own, but I can do anything with God. And this is if I'm, you know, I can see it from the aspect that, oh, I cannot do anything on my own. How weak I am. I won't even try it. So this is actually not a humble state of mind. So there are different types of self-esteem, and they are connected with the different modes of nature. So when I think that I don't worth anything, I cannot do anything, yeah, I'm not capable of doing it alone, this is low self-esteem, and actually this is in the mode of ignorance. And this is sometimes it seems humble, because you know, maybe someone approaches us to please do this service, and oh, Prabhu, sorry, I'm not qualified for that service, and it seems like humility many times, but in reality it's not. It's actually false ego also, but it's frustrated false ego. So we can check it in a way that humility is never in the way of, never an obstacle in doing service. So whenever it's an excuse that we don't do something, it's more likely this low self-esteem, and that is in the mode of ignorance. In the mode of passion, I think it's the easiest to find out which is the mode of passion. It's when I think that, oh, I am God's gift to the world. I have this big talent, that big talent. I can achieve great things, and yeah, this is obviously the result of false ego. This is pride, and this is false ego in the mode of passion. In the mode of goodness, we can see that I'm valuable and others are also valuable. So in relationship with others, we can have a balanced view. But when we see things in a transcendental way, then we can see that all of us are God's children. And yeah, we see that He loves all of us equally. And we see that I'm not able to do things on my own, but when I get the qualification from Him, I can do anything with Him. So this is one point of view. So if I see that, yeah, I cannot do anything on my own, that's an obstacle. That's not good. But when I see the other way around, that I can see anything, I can do anything with God, that's actually empowering. So it's our decision how we want to see things. And yeah, I would like to also share one quote from Radhanath Swami. It's just an amazing one. So he said that humility is not about being cowardly. It's not an act of self-effacement. True humility is to have courage, to have confidence, not based on our own egoistic identity of how I'm better or worse than others. True humility empowers us with a connection to God's grace. And when we connect to that grace, we understand there is a power beyond my own that could give me the intelligence, that can give me the skills to overcome obstacles. And when we have that connection, then we actually become a true well-wisher of others. We love to see other people succeed. We will do the best we can, but there can be depression in a humble heart, because it's not a matter of winning or losing, it's a matter of serving. With a humble heart, we come out of a cave, a dark cave of our false ego, where everything is about I, me, and mine. In ancient myths, there is a dragon in the cave, and the dragon is usually protecting the gold and silver jewels or some beautiful ladies. And the dragon can't really enjoy it, but won't let anybody else come near it. That's really a state of everybody, to one extent or another, who is disconnected from the soul and from God. This ego is about I, me, and mine. A humble heart means to come out of that dark ego, to slay the dragon of greed, and to actually know that in living in a spirit of appreciating the grace, the power of God, and being an instrument of that power in our life, we can overcome depression, we can overcome arrogance, we can overcome the ego with all of its cohorts. That is the beauty of a humble heart. And we could truly be courageous for the right things, for what really enlightens us, brings us closer to God, and helps to bring others the true joy of life. So yeah, this is also about the same point, and in a really deep way. And yeah, I would just like to share one last list about this topic. And this is from Kadamba Kanana Swami. And he gave a seminar about getting inspirations from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And I found this list about this is summarizing the benefits of being humble. So by being humble, one becomes open to superior person, and therefore one can receive benefits. One becomes wary of committing offenses. Humbleness protects one from offenses. One is open to learn. One can act as a servant, and that service generates mercy in a superior person. By serving superior person properly, he becomes indebted, and then he starts sharing. The same can be said for the Supreme Lord, who becomes indebted by humble service, and he bestows his mercy. This is the position of Kripa-Siddha devotee. He or she gets the mercy by service. Prabhupada said that entire bhakti depends on one's service attitude. Next point. One can accept one's faults and take actions to rectify them. Humility will protect one from enjoying side benefits of devotional service, like honor, respect, facility, admiration. This is called Tarangarangini, enjoying the facilities offered by bhakti. Humility conquers the hearts of other people. People are captured by genuine humility. One becomes the instrument of the Lord. The Lord is guiding such person from the inside because he or she is available to be guided from the inside. Humility leads to detachment because one does not think of one's own needs and ideas as important. Humility gives opportunity to others, and one can therefore encourage others. One can go beyond the limits of Varnashram because one goes beyond the limits of one's nature. Humility brings out honesty because one is looking at himself as he is. Humility is necessary for honesty. Humility makes one dependent on the Supreme Lord, and that is reality. We are totally dependent on the Supreme Lord, and by humility, one can realize this. And the last point, by being humble, one can give up the tendency to control others. So, yeah, these were the benefits. And just one last thing, I would like to say a few nice metaphors which also exemplify the power of humility. Srila Prabhupada mentioned that humility is like a tree which has a lot of fruit on it, and when the tree has has a lot of fruit, then naturally the tree bends. Sorry. So similarly, a great soul in Krishna consciousness becomes humbler than the grass and bows down like the beautiful trees and acts as the agent of Krishna. And also, like, sometimes there are these willow trees, and when there is great wind, you can see that there are other trees which stand tall, and the wind is so strong that the wind just breaks the branches. Even when the wind is very, very strong, huge branches sometimes are broken off of the tree. But these willow trees, they are very flexible, and just take the shape of whatever way the wind blows. Just let it pass through itself. So the willow trees won't break, and this is what we can also achieve by humility, not breaking. And also, we can see some examples from the water, from rivers. One example is there are great hard rocks, and you just hit them, and just these rocks won't break. But there are these small drops of water, and again another drop, another drop, another drop, and just after a long time, the water finds its way through the rocks. And this is how humility works. And Srila Prabhupada's sister also very nicely exemplified this because I very much like this story that he had a not so good husband. So Pishima was the example of an abused woman, and who actually succeeded rectifying her husband's bad habits, because so she married to a man who later was found out to be a rogue, woman hunter, drunkard, fish eater person, and Pishima was very humbly serving him. She even cooked fish for him, so which was probably very difficult for him. And when she asked Srila Prabhupada's advice, he gave her his own deities. And after some time, so her husband actually started to see her qualifications, and later on she managed actually to change her husband by actually, not doing any extraordinary thing. No one preached to her husband, but by time her husband saw her very good qualities, and that changed him. And the last example which I wanted to say is that sometimes we see that there are these rivers which it was actually from Guru Maharaj. There was one daily drops, and in a reply to that, he wrote this, that a river keeps moving forward because it knows how to bend. And I very much liked also this example, because it shows that humility can help us achieve our destination if we also learn how to bend. So thank you very much for your kind patience and attention. This is what I plan to say.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji, for such a detailed explanation on humility. But a lot of insights from all the scriptures and quotes from different Maharajas. Sorry about that. Thank you so much, Mataji, for your class. Thank you for selecting this topic. It's a very important topic. Yeah, but it's very difficult to practice. That's what I understood, because we always feel good when we get respect. That's what I first when I heard your story, you started with a nice story. Then I was thinking about that, but yeah. So we have to realize that that person realized very well that the respect he's getting is not for him. It's because of the position. Yeah. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very nice class and nice points, Mataji. Thank you. Dear devotees, if you have any questions or comments or realizations, you can please go ahead. And please, you can turn on your cameras. That would be very nice to see all of you. Namrata Mataji.
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, and all glories to your wonderful service. So Mataji, this humility itself is a very big topic, and I think you covered so much. In one class, you covered so much. So,
sorry, I just cannot overcome this this problem that it's like a great shower at once. I really try to solve this.
I was just about to tell you that I'm offline. I am going to message you. Please, give me some tips to how to read scriptures or how to, study scriptures. So definitely, I would approach you for that. I really like the way you make notes and make points. So please, I'm looking forward with a humble request.
Okay, thank you. I also have to think about that, because some how to say it, it's not so conscious how I approach, but it's nice to bring it on a conscious level. So yeah, okay.
And I really like the point you made about the difference between the humility and self-ego, which is in fact very important to understand for us. Then the questionnaire which you gave, which is, we should reflect on asking that questions of ourselves to, understand what level we have for our humility. So that was one thing I really liked. Then the wonderful examples you gave about the tree, rock and the water, Fukushima, and river. So very nice class. Uh, I don't want to ask a question, but just a small experience which I had. I would like to share with you. So this was in my initial days. In fact, I'm a neophyte, but still in my initial days, I came across an impersonalist who was trying to tell me about their philosophy. I don't want to take the name, but uh, she was trying to teach me her philosophy by telling that, okay, you don't need to be a servant of somebody to understand the philosophy. At that time, I was also reading about Prabhupada, and uh, I was at the doubtful level, but somehow with Prabhupada's grace, with Krishna's mercy, I could get convinced with the concept that we are the servant of the Supreme Lord, and we have to understand that fact, accept that fact. I think that is the first test of humility which we cross when we accept that thing, that we are the servant of the Supreme. So that is how devotion, I think, takes entry within us. So I just wanted to share that the first example that the first experience I had with the Prabhupada philosophy. So thank you for the wonderful class. I have taken many of the points which I'll be reflecting. And thank you again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for sharing this, because this is a very important point, that sometimes it's so tempting to just jump over the importance of service, because that's not so comfortable, and even many times it's also a trap for devotees, that I like to do I want to do services which I like. So humble service is completely another level. And you just reminded me of one point which I somehow I forgot, that I just remember this definition of pure devotional service, which is totally without motives. So if I want to gain something, even if it's some kind of respect or something, that's an obstacle in the way of pure devotional service. So without humility, it's just not possible to do pure devotion. We read in the beginning that humility is that I have some kind of expectations. So yeah, and it's also true that getting knowledge is not just getting information. Without service and without these great souls, we can get information, but knowledge actually travels from heart to heart, and not just by words, but really from heart to heart. It's an amazing thing, and yeah, it might be comfortable not to make effort in it, but it's just not possible to get real knowledge without this. So thank you very much for telling your story. It's really inspiring.
Thank you very much. I definitely I really like this. The first thing I think I liked in Srila Prabhupada's philosophy was this thing that which differentiates in other philosophy as well, which help us, fundamentally. The humility is a very big topic, but it helps us right to the core that when we accept ourselves as a servant, this becomes so easy. It fits into our mind. The humility, fits into our mind when we say we are the servant of the servant of the servant. And in other philosophies, in Jnana Yoga, you somehow know that thing maybe theoretically, but when you don't practice it's really difficult. So Prabhupada gave us this philosophy with such a practical approach. So I really like this thing. Thank you.
Yes.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Namrata Mataji, for sharing that. Thank you so much. Mataji, we have a question on chat by Devanand Pandit Prabhu. Shall I read it, Mataji?
Yes, thank you.
So, Prabhuji is asking, I live in the temple for 4 as a refugee. I watch the brahmacharis here in the temple. For example, even while washing the floors, not to mention their free time from service, they put on headphones and listen to lectures. For what? To remain constantly in Krishna consciousness and not fall into Maya? What happens if you clean the floor and forget to turn on the lecture? Does this mean that even due to such a slight oversight, one can fall from the level of Krishna consciousness to which a brahmachari has been raising for decades? Through this observation, I have come to the conclusion that Krishna consciousness, at least the kind that is being forced upon us, is not a natural position for a human being. Everything that is natural should be easily and naturally attainable. At the same time, a person should be happy without exhausting austerities and without tiresome religious rites. Naturally, my freedom ends where the freedom of another person begins. Maybe humility is to accept that, to stay in so-called Maya, that this is my natural position.
I hope.
Yeah.
I hope I understood the question. If not, then please, Prabhuji, then just correct me. But just one thing came into my mind that whenever we want to grow, for example, let's say I have weak muscles, and if I want to grow beyond my current capabilities, because my current overcome my current weakness and my situation, then I have to train. And training is actually always effort. Also for the muscles, also for the mind, for the false ego. And Krishna consciousness is natural. So when we get purified, then it's natural. But I could also mention this example that there are some workers who have, at the end of the day, they are covered by a lot of dust, and just need to use a brush to clean all the dust from the skin, and it can be a little bit painful or not so comfortable, but in order to get rid of that, to reach the pure state, the clean state, some effort is needed. They have to tolerate something. So Krishna consciousness is natural and easy, but because
it's not so easy. Maybe it's easy for you, but it's not easy for me.
No, it's also not easy for me. The problem is that I'm not Krishna conscious. That's the not easy part. I heard this example that we are doing imagine there is a big tree and someone hugs this tree and just shouts and cries out that please release me. And actually he's embracing the tree and he's attached to the tree and he doesn't let the tree go. But this is actually what we are doing. We are grabbing the material things which don't make us happy. Like
my material things making me happy. What about you? I'm not what about you, but material things make me happy, and austerities don't make me happy.
But it depends on how you define happiness. Guru Maharaj used to speak about that happiness is not just. Usually, when we speak about happiness, it's we used to think in a way that okay, now suffering has gone away, and we consider that happiness. But it's because we didn't experience what real happiness is. What is Ananda, spiritual happiness?
I don't have an example. I don't know the example of spiritual happiness. I know what is it natural happiness. Have you ever feel spiritual happiness? I don't know what is it spiritual happiness. I know what is it the material happiness.
Mm-hmm. Well, we can get actually a glimpse of spiritual happiness, which is. I don't know, maybe they used to define it that reflection or just, sometimes when, when we do our devotional service, I don't know if you have experience, but I've heard it from many devotees and I also experienced that we can experience something higher that during a kirtan, you are there with many devotees dancing joyfully, and that is spiritual happiness. Sometimes we even bring our material minds into the kirtan, and then we don't experience the spiritual happiness. But the holy name, the Devotees Association, contains this spiritual happiness, and we can experience it. We just have to be engaged fully. But also whenever sometimes we do our service, sometimes it's just we fear that how happy it makes us that Krishna will get something which might be pleasing for him, or maybe you also, I don't know if you served Guru Maharaj and to please him, it also gives us spiritual happiness. So it's something more. It's not the origin is not that okay, I was hungry and now I'm not hungry, or not that the senses are satisfied, but something else is satisfied inside us. This need of love and loving relationships.
When I saw my child, I'm happy. When I touch my child, I'm happy. Is this material happiness or is this spiritual happiness? I don't know, but I'm happy. I'm serving my child and touching my child. Why should I neglect this service? I don't know.
You shouldn't. Actually, when you had the child, you accepted this service, so you shouldn't, because he or she is in your care, and you have to help your child. So it's not that you have to neglect it. The child also has the need for loving relationships, so it's natural. It's just that we have to do.
Yes, it's natural. You see. Maybe this is real happiness, and maybe to be happy with my relatives, maybe to be happy with my material, to fulfill my material desires. natural desires. Maybe this is my natural position, and not my natural position is spiritual position, which I don't know nothing about.
Yeah, but the goal is to get to know something about this. The problem with material happiness and satisfying the senses is that many times it's not possible. And even in relationships, many times it's not possible, because if the relationships...
Spiritual happiness is not possible at all in this life.
Why not? I don't understand that.
No.
We cannot have that constant spiritual happiness because we are so attached to this material life, and often we just get out of Krishna consciousness. But we can have some experience of that. So
how do we know that this was a spiritual experience? Maybe this was a material experience. When I'm happy singing kirtan, this is spiritual. When I sing in rock and roll, I am happy, more happy than singing kirtan.
Yeah, the problem is that actually it's possible to get material happiness from a kirtan or from anything. Like, you eat prasadam, and if you eat it in a way that don't connect to the how to say, it can be that you just enjoy the taste and nothing else, and then it's material happiness. In a kirtan, maybe you like the music, and it can be material happiness, but it's the matter of consciousness. It can be that there are two devotees in a kirtan, and one experiences spiritual happiness, the other experiences material happiness, and there can be a third one which doesn't experience any happiness at all. So it's our responsibility. I remember once I asked Shivaram Maharaj this question, that how can we know that a bhajan, a kirtan is a good kirtan? And he said that whenever we remember Krishna during the kirtan, then it's a good kirtan. But then comes the conclusion that, it can be that there is one kirtan and one devotee remembers Krishna and the other doesn't remember Krishna. So one kirtan is good for one and not good for the other. So yes. It's the matter of consciousness.
I agree.
So yeah, it's true that we can even in devotional service, we can connect to Krishna, or we can connect to the material and energy. That's the matter of our consciousness. But that's why we have to have endeavor to get knowledge, because by knowledge we can see things as they are.
I know one Prabhu who was married 3 times, and he says that this looks like you have 3 different philosophical educations. It's a matter of consciousness, No, if one if one is happy at kirtan and another one is not happy at the same kirtan, what does it mean?
It does mean that it's very important in what consciousness we attend to the kirtan. So it means that the quality of the kirtan is not only the kirtan leader's responsibility, but also my responsibility, who just sit there and sing back in the crowd. Because my responsibility is that, I can attend to a kirtan and just listen to the music. And the holy name is so powerful that even in that case, it will have effect on me, good effect on me. But I can benefit so much more if I'm present in a good consciousness. So actually, it means that that in my spiritual life, I'm responsible for my because that will determine my future, that will determine my consciousness, and that will determine how much happiness I can experience in Krishna consciousness.
I know one Prabhuji who listen only to classical kirtans. He don't listen to chord kirtans. And he is not happy when he listen to chord kirtan. And I'm
what
happy
kind of
when I listen
kirtan?
to chord kirtan. No, European kirtan, kind of kirtan. He listens only to he listens only to classical kirtan, and he is not happy when providing European kind of kirtan, you know.
Oh, I see.
But I am happy. He is not happy. He says that this is not true kirtan.
True kirtan is the holy name is there in a good consciousness. So
I'm happy during this kirtan. I don't see the difference between classical kirtans or another kind of kirtans. And this is my consciousness is Krishna consciousness, and his consciousness is not Krishna consciousness during the kirtan.
No, once I asked Guru Maharaj about one interesting thing, that sometimes it happens that I'm there in a kirtan and I cannot hear the holy name because, the instruments are so loud and devotees are just shouting and stuff. Maybe you also experience something like this. And for me, it was really, really frustrating because I felt that, okay, why I am here if I cannot even hear the holy name? And Guru Maharaj's answer was really interesting because I really thought that he would say that if we don't hear the holy name, then there is no Shravanam. But he answered something different, and he said that even when you don't hear the holy name is there, and I didn't remember, but it was not about the loudness, but about sometimes when I cannot follow the melody. Yeah, that was it. So sometimes I cannot follow the melody and I cannot sing back. That was the problem. So that I cannot how to sing if I cannot follow the melody. And he said that even in that case, I'm dependent on music. And I'm dependent on the externals. So the holy name is not dependent on anything. And, since then, I just realized that, okay, maybe I cannot sing back because I don't know the melody. But even in that situation, I can, chant the Hare Krishna mantra with like rap or something without melody. So the point is that there are these external things, but the holy name is not dependent on anything like that. And just that's it. It's my responsibility. The holy name is not dependent on Western music, on ragas or anything. If I can connect to the holy name itself without the melody, then I will be in a good consciousness, and that will give pleasure, spiritual pleasure. But if I'm dependent on music, then I won't get pleasure because sometimes I like the music, sometimes I don't like the music. And that's the difference between spiritual and material, because spiritual is not dependent on the material circumstances.
And what is your conclusion about my question? Maybe to stay, to know that staying in Maya, so-called Maya, is my natural position. Maybe this is my humility. This is a real humility. Not to try to cling to the Krishna consciousness.
I can only say what the acharyas and the scriptures say, that this is not our original situation. This is not our original position. So it's a matter of faith. This is my answer. Sorry, maybe if I had. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
So it's just that Gurus, Sadhu and Shastra says this, so I accept.
This is the humility.
Maybe I'm endeavoring for that. So thank you very much. Maybe we can.
I wish to have so much humility as you are.
Oh, I wish for you to have much more.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you. So Mataji, it's more than 1 hour now. Can we end the call now? Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your time association.
No problem, Mataji. Yeah, thank you so much. Sakshi Mataji, you want to say something?
I would like to say that thank you so much, Mataji, for conducting this class and the various beautiful examples from Srila Prabhupada and all, which has really enlightened us. And you have really explained it very well. And thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you. Once again, thank you. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. We'll end the call here. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyascha patitanam pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Prabhupada ki jai. Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.